Hey guys, I'm Viragin Raven, and it's been a while since I gave you guys a deck profile, and I figured I might as well just do a quick update of the Shaddoll Dogma deck that I posted a little bit ago. I don't think anything much has changed, aside from a few things here and there, but this is the current list that I'm going to be working with at the moment for my Shaddolls, and I figured I might as well just bring you guys a little bit of a deck profile with it. For the deck, it's just the usual standards of 2 Squamata and 2 of Wendy. Squamata and Wendy just pretty much serve the same purpose in the deck, to help deck thin by a long while, especially if you start to get some things going with Shaddoll Wendy. It does help with trying to facilitate a decent board. But obviously the Dogmatikas just do that by themselves fairly well, and it helps out through and through, so that's pretty much the reason why we're running those guys. Afterwards, I'm of course running one of my Shaddolls, the 1 dragon to pop spell and traps, the 1 hedgehog to start adding things, the 1 beast for draw power, the 1 Falco for resurrection purposes, and the 1 Ariel for both a combo facilitation and for mucking up with the opponent's graveyard. Next up, we have ourselves the Dogmatikas, which are 3 of Ecclesia, finally being capable of pronouncing this one. But either way, Ecclesia does something very valuable for the deck, and that's searching any and all of the Dogmatika cards, which is vital for this deck, because the Dogmatikas serve not only like a second engine, but in terms of interruption for the deck. So hence the reason why I am running 3 Ecclesia in this deck. Afterwards, I am running, this time, 2 Fleur-de-Lis. Fleur-de-Lis is simply incredible, and the simple factor that she negates effects upon her resolution effect of summoning her is damn right insane. In my original video, I think I only had 1 of her, but now I bumped her up to 2, primarily because the potential of negating multiple times is just simply too much to say no to nonetheless. But the reason why I'm also playing 2, we'll get to in a moment. I'm still running the 1 Maximus. I'm fully aware that Maximus is not well used anymore, primarily because of the easy outs towards this effect. But honestly, Maximus is just still too good to run in the deck nonetheless, because he can still sabotage decks that don't necessarily play around him an awful lot, especially if I go into game 2 and I didn't use Maximus once. I could just simply add him and then start going off if I so wish be. Now here's where things start to get interesting. I am actually running 1 Ashian. Ashian seems like a bit of an oddball at first, but in all honesty, he is actually quite... Ashian's synergy with this deck in particular pretty much works a whole lot more than I originally expected to be. Especially when it comes to the fact that you can use him along with El Shaddoll Construct, or any other of the Shaddolls for that matter that are in the extra deck, or any of the other links in the extra deck for that matter, or heck, even some of the targets for your Nadir Servant and Maximus. It's just incredible in how much synergy Ashian has with this deck. I do understand the arguments of why he isn't used, but at the same time, I just simply cannot say no to him. Plus, I should also mention that when he does hit the board, he allows you to add any of the Dogmatika cards from your graveyard back to your hand, so you get recycles on the Fleur-de-Lis a whole lot more. Okay, so for hand traps, I am running triple Ash Blossom just to stop anything that involves the deck. Triple Ghost Stoker, not only a light target for my Shaddolls, but at the same time she just blows up things on field. And finally, 1 Ghost Speller. Ghost Speller is just the same thing as Ash, but for graveyards instead of decks. Moving along into spells. Yes, that's right, we're not running the Mathematician engine with the Trick Clown and such. That was pretty much the entire monster lineup. Moving into the spells, we have our triple Shaddoll Fusion to, of course, start our fusion plays. And we're running the triple El Shaddoll Fusion just to pretty much speed things up and to possibly get a swift save on Winder or a swift KO with Construct. Next up, I am running double Nadir Servant. I keep on saying to run 3 of this. Why do I have 2? I only have 2. That's my reasoning. So, you need 3 of this. Nadia's Servant is just the all-around rotor for the deck. It pretty much allows you to add any one of the Dogmatika monsters from your deck to your hand, and you can continue off playing off from there on out, so why say no to Nadia's Servant? Next up, Triple Tactics Talent. Yes, I actually do have 3 of these things. Talents is simply incredible, especially when it comes to the fact that it works so well with a lot of the deck as a whole. With its 3 effects allowing you to either A. Pot of Greed, B. Confiscation, or C. Change of Heart, it's just incredible, and especially that it can easily be used after a simple bait is just simply phenomenal for any deck. Generics, I have 1 Monster Reborn, the 1 Foolish Burial, and for trap cards I'm just running the usual Shaddoll Incarnation and Shaddoll Schism. Extra deck, I am running my usual forte of 3 El Shaddoll Construct. The fact that this card is just so powerful in more ways than 1 now is just maddening to me. Construct pretty much does everything that she needed to do for Shaddolls for the longest time, and she will continue to do so, allowing you to simply send a Shaddoll monster from deck to graveyard on her summon, and destroys a monster automatically that was special summoned by battle. It's just insane. Double Winder. I have seen opportunities to bump this up to 3, but those opportunities was quickly discarded as soon as I realized one of 2 factors: room and versatility. So unfortunately I have to keep Winder at 2. 1-Up Cologne, I really wish I could play more than 1, but hey ho, 1 is still good enough for the time being for our effect to simply add a Shaddoll spell or trap from my deck to hand. I can't say no. A Super Poly target, since I have Super Polys in the side deck in the form of Starving Venom. Access Kotoka along with Celine just to facilitate this play. Since I rarely go into links a lot in this deck, this is just it for me to get a swift body on field to help start punching in for some big damage. And finally, Cross Sheep. I have not been able to summon out Cross Sheep for both test hands and actual plays against other people with this deck, but in all honesty, this card is still fantastic. It's just stupid if you want to go into a Shaddoll deck and not use this at all. And finally, for the Maximus targets, I'm running the usual standards of Saffron Lord Omega, Titanoklad, and Elder Entity Ints. As well as to counter my opponent's Maximus, you gotta be prepared somehow. And that's the deck. This is a little bit of a swift video, yes, but as I said, not much has changed, and in all honesty, I'm actually kind of glad in the direction that this deck is going at the moment. It suits me perfectly well in terms of an overall deck that I would like to play, and for a guy like me, it's simple and easy enough to pick up and understand. Especially during the time that we're in right now, I'd rather prefer to play something simple than something overly complex. So I hope you have enjoyed this deck profile. If you have, dropping this video a thumbs up will definitely be appreciative. And as well at the same time, if you think somebody may benefit from this deck profile, give them a link to this one and see what they think about it. But until next time guys, I have been Raging Raven, and until next time, I bid you all adieu.